Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the wrench. Today we're going to be doing a real short video on this Troy-Bilt Mustang XP Zero Turn. It's a 50-inch cut. I've had this on the channel before. It usually doesn't need a whole lot. The guy keeps it in good shape. It's got a Briggs 24 twin on the back. We're having some issues this time where intermittently it will not start very well. It took me a good few minutes to get it started this morning. When he first brought it to me, he said when he turned on the blades, the engine would die.
Please subscribe.
I cut 3 local lawns with it without any issues, and then all of a sudden, about the end of the last lawn, it started spittering and dying on me very quickly. I couldn't even salvage it. I had to restart it a few times. Then I waited a few days and I ran it again under no load. It ran fine. And then I went to run it the next day, and within a minute of it starting, it wouldn't stay running and it died. So we're going to be dealing with the carburetor in another video. Today we're going to be changing the deck belt on this. And it's pretty simple, so let me show you the basics and how to get it off. The first thing we're going to do is take these covers off of both sides. They have a bolt here, here, and right up there. So I'm going to get a wrench. I'm going to take out those 3 bolts and pull the covers off. If you look around, you see these piles of dirt all over. That's because his whole deck was covered in crap and dirt and grass. So this is always my favorite part. I've already pulled a lot of it off. But this whole thing is just packed, completely packed. This will make your pulleys rust. It'll make your decks rust, and it will ruin your belt. This belt is stretched and it's kind of worn out, and he wants it replaced. But make sure that you're blowing off your deck, guys. Get someone else to blow your deck. There's a joke in there somewhere.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
Let me get the other side off and I'll show you how to get to the belt. Now the next thing I do is get my handy dandy spring puller. This is just a piece of paracord. You can use a wire, a rope, a hanger, whatever. I usually put a loop in the end of mine so I have something to hold on to. If you come down on the side with the chute, on the right side if you're sitting on the machine, you'll see a spring that goes from here to that pulley over there. This side is a lot easier to get to. This is the opening. I'm going to put my string right around that. I'm going to pull it with the string, and I'm going to pull it off of this S-hook so that loosens up my lever. Now once that spring is off, the pulley that's easiest to get the belt off is going to be the middle one in the front, because you just have to slide it up and over the top. These are supposed to have a spring-loaded arm on them, but I can't seem to figure out which one it is because it's dirty and it's messed up. So for the camera's sake, I'm going to take the pulley off of this one. I'm going to use a screwdriver. The reason I'm doing it this way is because there's dirt on the deck and I can't clear off all the pulleys without getting a garden hose and soaking the area. I haven't messed with these belts in a while. Every zero turn and every tractor is a little different. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. Then I'll clear out all the pulleys and clean off the deck and figure out which one of these is supposed to move. Well, now there's no pressure on it from the deck, from the belt. I'm trying them all and they all seem to be stable. None of them are spring loaded. So that's a pretty shitty design, but okay. I can live with that. You saw how easy it was to get the belt off. I'll show you how easy it is to get it back on. It's not hard at all. Use the belt for leverage. Use the screwdriver so you don't get your fingers pinched. And now the belt's back on. Once you've done it a few times, it's not hard to do. Now, let me show you the diagram of this belt, which is usually underneath somewhere. This is under the seat. This is the motor in the back, and this is the deck up here. So you can see how it gets fed through. Easy enough. And if you need to know the deck belt numbers, there they are right there. Now the last thing I want to talk about is your keepers here. That's these little lever bars right here. And in order to get this belt out from between the pulley and the keeper, I'm going to have to loosen this bolt and take this pulley off. Loosen it enough that the pulley will wiggle out of the way. And it's the same thing on the other side. So take note of where they are, because when I loosen this bolt, they can move forward or back. So try to put them back in the same position you took them. As far as the back of the belt is concerned, you can see it's already flopping around on the pulley on the motor. You may have keepers to deal with back there. Just take it off, feed it back through, remember cock and balls, and let's get the new one on. Okay, now I did not need to take this pulley all the way off, but I wanted to show you what was underneath of it. Basically, this is just a stud that comes through the deck with a threaded top, and on top of the pulley was this cap that went on, and then the nut, and that tightened it down. So I pulled up the pulley as far as I needed to go to get that out of the keeper. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Then I'm going to feed the new belt through the keeper. Make sure that when you put it on, you know the difference between the flat side and the V side. If you have a flat pulley, the flat side of the belt goes against the flat pulley. If you have a V pulley like this one that goes well inside, then you know the V shape goes inside the pulley, and that gives you an idea on how to feed the belt if you don't have a diagram. I'm laying on the ground right now trying to reach under this thing. So if you don't have a diagram and you can't find one online, always remember, if you start at the engine, the motor, that's the tip of the cock. Then the belt comes backwards and caresses the first two middle pulleys like balls. Then you can figure out that the spindles take the V side of the belt, and then if there's any extra pulleys and there's a flat side like on this machine, then you can figure out how the belt goes, and you don't even have to have a guide or a picture. Let me get this other pulley off. Let me get the belt fed back, then I'm going to put this pulley back, and then we're going to test it out, make sure it's running. Now I wanted to show you the rear view of the machine. This is the motor. This is your clutch for your blades, and the belt usually just feeds on. There's not usually any keepers. It's a V-sided pulley, so make sure that the V side faces in and the flat side faces out. That's a good way to start the motor. Then you just put it up in place, pull the slack out, and feed it through the deck. Now you may be asking me why I took the time to take that spring off with my handy dandy piece of string. And believe me, I contemplated cutting that part out of the video to keep it shorter and make it look like I knew exactly what I was doing on every machine that I touched. But the bottom line is I don't. They're all a little bit different. You work on 20, you forget about number 1. You work on 25, you forget about numbers 1 and 2 and 3. And it takes a little bit for you to remember. But in this case, I wasn't wrong. I'm coming in from the right side of the machine. I took the spring off of the left side. That's what this spring is here. I took it off the other side. And it attaches to this pulley right here. And what happened was he had so much dirt, and the pulley itself was stuck and rusted. And when I went to put a wrench on the top to loosen this pulley, it broke free. It just popped, and I almost fell over because I had so much pressure on it. So that's one reason you don't want to leave all this dirt and muck up on top of your deck. Things get rusted and won't move. So now that this pulley swings again, it'll be a whole lot easier. I won't have to use a screwdriver to put the belt on like I took it off. I'll be able to put the belt on, feed it in place, push this pulley back, then put the spring back on using the same string I used to pull it off, and then we're good to go. So this is what keeps tension on your belt. I just thought I'd go ahead and point that out, that I was sort of right and sort of wrong. And once you get your two side covers back on with your 3 bolts, and you put your spring back in place, you're good to go. The last thing you gotta do, start it up, turn on the blades, make sure nothing's smoking, squealing, or breaking. that's it. I don't know if you can see the swath I just cut in the yard, but the blades are working just fine. Now we got to deal with the carburetor problem and whatever's going on with why the PTO wants to shut off intermittently. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. Hit the like button. It's somewhere between my chin and my balls. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.